All right, today we are building the modern leader's playbook. We're going to move past those old, dusty management styles so you can truly inspire your team and make a real, lasting impact. So let's just jump right in with the big question, right? What really is the difference between a manager and a leader? I'll tell you, it's so much more than just overseeing tasks. The answer? Well, it's all about a fundamental shift in how you think and how you act. And this captures the very heart of that shift. You see, old leadership was all about command and control, but the new playbook, it's built on connection and influence. It's about going from being a boss who just directs traffic to being a coach who actually develops people. Let's dig into what that really looks like. So, where do we start? Well, the first step to becoming a great leader isn't actually about managing other people. It's about mastering yourself. The entire foundation is, and always will be, you. At the very core of self-mastery is emotional intelligence, or EI. You've probably heard of it. Daniel Goleman made it famous. It's the ability to get a handle on your own emotions, and just as importantly, to recognize what's going on with the people around you. And let me be clear, this is not some soft skill. It is the absolute bedrock of building trust and collaboration. Okay, so how do you make this self-awareness thing practical? Well, a great tool for this is the Johari window. The big idea here is simple. Your goal is to make that open area as big as possible. And how do you do that? Two ways. First, you get honest feedback from others to shrink your blind spots. And second, you open up a bit more to reduce your hidden area. That process, right there, is how real, authentic trust gets built. Now, to really manage emotions, both your own and your team's, you have to know what triggers them in the first place. The SCARF model from David Rock is just a brilliant cheat sheet for understanding how our brains react in social situations at work. Think about it. Our brains are constantly subconsciously scanning for threats or rewards related to our status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. As a leader, everything you do either sets off alarms in these areas or makes people feel rewarded and engaged. Getting a handle on these 5 triggers isn't just a neat trick, it's a total game changer. All right, so once you've started doing that internal work on yourself, the focus naturally shifts outward to your team. This is where you move from just directing their tasks to actively developing their potential. This is where you become a coach. And this really just nails the whole philosophy. A director tells people what to do. A coach helps them discover what they're truly capable of doing. That one single shift in your mindset is what unlocks incredible performance and builds a team that can solve problems all on its own. But how do you actually coach someone effectively? You can't just wing it. The GROW model is a super simple yet incredibly powerful framework that gives your coaching conversations structure and makes sure they lead to real results. It's basically a 4-step dialogue. You start with the goal. What do they really want to achieve? Then you get honest about the current reality. Where are things right now? From there, you brainstorm all the possible options. And finally, you land on the will, the specific, committed action they're going to take. See? It's a conversation built on powerful questions, not on giving orders. It's about guiding, not telling. So coaching is the engine that drives empowerment. And the whole point is to build a high-performing team that can operate with autonomy. Now let's look at a couple of fantastic tools that help you do exactly that. You know, effective leadership is never a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. The SLA model is like a masterclass in adaptability. It shows how your style has to change depending on where your team member is in their development. You need to be really directive with a rookie who's full of enthusiasm, right? But with a self-reliant expert, the absolute best thing you can do is delegate and get out of their way. And to help you figure out what to delegate, you can use this simple delegation matrix. Just look for that sweet spot, right? That top right corner. When you've got high-skilled team members who are ready to tackle complex stuff, that's where you truly delegate and trust. That's the zone where high-performing teams live and breathe. Okay, but a truly great leader's impact is never, ever confined to just their own team. The final piece of our playbook is all about extending your influence across the entire organization to drive those bigger, more strategic wins. So, to create that wider impact, you first have to know who the key players are. The Mendello Matrix is a fantastic tool that helps you map them out based on how much power they have and how interested they are. This thing instantly shows you where you need to focus your time and energy to be the most effective. And here is a super critical insight. Influencing all those stakeholders, it's almost never about your job title. Your real power comes from your expertise, your credibility, the relationships you build, and your ability to rally people around a shared vision. Formal authority, that should be the absolute last tool you reach for, not the first.
Ultimately, to drive that wider impact, you have to be a great communicator. And that means going way beyond just presenting facts and figures on a slide. It's about telling a compelling story with that data, a story that actually persuades people and inspires them to take action.
So wow, we have covered a lot of ground, from mastering yourself all the way to influencing an entire organization. But you have to remember, this isn't a checklist you just complete one time. It's a continuous journey of learning and growing.
If there's one single idea to take away from our time together, please let it be this. The entire world of leadership has shifted from being about control to being about trust. Every model, every tool we've talked about today is really just a way to build, strengthen, and act on that trust.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. What's your next move? Are you going to focus on your self-awareness, maybe practice your coaching skills, or start working on expanding your influence? The playbook is yours to write.